Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Family Heirloom Tarot, which is this deck that I have created right here. If you are watching this, you might have come from my Etsy shop, or after watching the Hermit Tarot and Lorraine's lovely unboxing and using of the deck, you might have wanted to look at it a little bit more. So today I'm going to be showing you what the deck is about, the inspiration behind it, and talking a little bit about the price point. So this is going to be a long video, and I have never made videos, so there's probably gonna be minimal editing in this. It's gonna be a long video, but yeah, I hope you find this helpful. I'm gonna be awkward in this, but this is just how it's gonna roll. So yes. So you see two boxes here. This is a smaller box. This was the original release of just the 22 major arcanas. So this is a thinner box, whereas this is the entire 78 card deck. They come with the same sticker with some slight changes. So for the full deck, you can see the 4 suits right here, and because this is a deck inspired by family and I am from Singapore and we are Chinese, I changed the 4 suits to something that is a little bit more suited to our culture. We will talk about this a little bit more when we go through the deck, but yes. Right now this mini major arcana deck is no longer available. However, I'm doing a pack of 3 blind bag for, yeah, if you just want a little preview of the 22 cards. None of these are properly stacked. They are shuffled, they are well used, so I will have to rearrange them later and use that as b-roll for talking about more information. But yeah, so here are some of the major arcanas. You can see some of them are in reverse because I have used them. So these are some of the cards you can get if you get the blind bag set of 3. Yup. And the design on the back looks like this. So I really wanted to design something that was like you cannot tell from the back if the card is upright or reversed. So that is why this is particularly created this way. You can tell if you're looking at the handles, but besides that, everything is symmetrical and mirrored for this very purpose. And yes, this is a deck that has more of like the retro feel. That's why the card background is slightly yellowed, and the colors are really vibrant but also slightly muted, just so that we have like the rainbow look, but it's not pastel. It's just slightly vintage, slightly retro, because we are going with the theme of a family heirloom here. So yes, and when you get the blind bag set of 3, you're just gonna get it in like a little envelope, but you can add on to get the tin here. And this tin is reusable. It's pink, it's very pretty, and you can put like many things in here. So the cards just sit in it in this size. I really wanted to go for packaging that is reusable and sustainable, especially because you know, most decks come in the unit carton that is made of cardboard, and after you use it for a long time, it's gonna wear and tear. Whereas if it's a tin, you're just gonna maximum get some scratches on it, but you're not going to be able to really do much damage to it. Okay, so welcome to Voiceover World. Right now we are going to be talking about the different nitty-gritty aspects of the deck. And while I'm going through all these details, you can enjoy the b-roll of me reorganizing all my cards so that I restore it into the way you're going to get your deck. So I'll be turning over all the reverse cards. Yeah, hope you enjoy this footage. The first one would be pricing. So I am based in Singapore, so I'll be talking about this all the prices in Singapore dollars and putting the US dollar equivalent on the screen. So the deck is priced at 95 Singapore dollars. It is pretty steep, and I know that, but honestly, the cost of printing these cards is way more than I've expected, and including the tin case and the acrylic keychain, because I really want an overall aesthetic that looks really nice, and you get an entire package that has a lot of love and light in it. Yeah, the pricing is a little bit steep, but rest assured and know that it comes with a lot of love in the creation of these cards. So the second thing would be the shipping prices. Now, I have been asked about shipping prices before because I am again in Singapore, and the shipping price to like the rest of the world, US, Australia, etc., they are really expensive as well. So for a tarot deck that is over like 300 grams for a parcel, it costs almost 20 Singapore dollars. And if you get 3 decks, the bundle of 3 decks, the shipping is around like 65 Singapore dollars, and that is before getting tracking. However, I would really recommend getting the tracking. It is usually like just an additional maybe 4 Sing dollars, but you will get a tracking number when you get it registered. And then if you live in Singapore, the deck comes with free normal shipping, normal postage by SingPost. And if you want to get it with registered mail with tracking, it's an additional $3.50. We also offer bundle discounts, so if you purchase 2 of the Cupidses and the expansion pack Oracle decks, you get 10% off. If you get the tarot deck and 1 of those Cupidses Oracle decks, you also get 10% off. And if you get all 3 of those decks, you get 15% off. So these also apply to if you add the tarot picnic mat into your order as well. So you can find all these in the bundle deal section of the shop. Last but not least, if you are really interested in deck but you're looking for like a cheaper alternative, sometimes we will run sales, so you can save even when you just purchase 1 deck. Or we are currently looking into creating a mini Family Heirloom Tarot deck. I am currently at this point waiting for the approval from makeplaincards.com. So through that, I'm not holding any stocks, and it is printed by demand, so the entire order will be handled, printed, delivered, etc. by makeplaincards.com. So on there, the mini tarot deck will cost 77 Singapore dollars. So yeah, I will leave the link for that down below as well, so that you can check it out whenever it's ready. So we have reorganized the deck, so this is how you're gonna get it, or at least if I remember the order correctly. But you are going to get your deck ordered Major Arcana and then Minor Arcana, so we are gonna go through the deck. So besides that, as well as the tin that we mentioned that has the sticker on the back, as well as the suits for you to look at here, you will also get 1 of these keychains, and you can choose whichever design you want, whether you get this as just a single deck or if you get it with the bundle of the Oracle cards. So let's have a look at the keychains. So this is the male version, which is also SayPa of SayPa and SayMa, which is my dad. And this is actually the Hierophant. Is this the Hierophant? Yeah, this is the Hierophant design. And it comes with like a gold keychain with a clasp, so you can put your keys on it. And this is made of acrylic. So it is double-sided, so one side the word is written correctly, the other side is flipped, because that's actually the back. So it did come with like a protective sticker, but it's a pain in the ass to pull out, so I have removed all of them, and it will come with a little plastic over it so that it still gets protected that way. And then this is the female version, which is the SayMa version, which is my mom, and this design is from the Strength card. Again, same hardware, same gold color. This is acrylic. That is the front, and this is the back. So yeah, you will get to choose whichever one you want. You can put it on your key, your keys, your bag, wherever. Okay, so talking about the 4 suits here, so they are on the back of the card as well. So the chopsticks are the wands, the ingots are the pentacles, the teacups are the cups, and the walks are the swords. So yeah, I think the ingots are pretty easy to recognize as pentacles because it's money in the Chinese culture, and the teacups are basically cups. So yeah, and the chopsticks just look like wands. And the walks, because I was thinking like swords are like actions, so what do? We cook, and we use walks when we cook traditionally. And also someone on Reddit told me that it's a good representation because the walks are, or the swords are typically also associated with fire. Yeah, so that's the 4 suits. So I'm gonna move the box out. When you get your deck, you're gonna see the title card on top, either with the information or without the information. I can't quite remember, but yeah, it says the Family Heirloom Tarot was created with family in mind, hence features members of the Say family. And if you're wondering why it's SayPa, SayMa, and the Say family, me and my sister's name have the word Say in it, and growing up, it's just like people are like, what is that? Like, is that your real name? Why does it have a verb in it? So I use that to name them in the original comics I created because it is very easy to remember and it's pretty memorable. Starring SayPa and SayMa as the main figures, this fun, colorful deck takes on a light-hearted and comical twist. It is pouring. Oh god. Taking reference to everyday Chinese household items. Let me close my window. Okay. It has started pouring. I hope the lighting and everything is good and you can hear me better. Taking reference to everyday Chinese household items, the 4 minor arcana suits have transformed. Ask silly questions, get guidance on serious events, and let the deck shed some light on the situation. Make this a family affair and pass the deck down to your great-great-great-grandkids. So about SayPa and SayMa tunes, it was created by me, Sayan Chong, and SayPa and SayMa are her comical and fun-loving parents. They are just like your typical Asian Chinese parents. Ever need a laugh? We are here to bring you laughter and bellyaches. So that's what that card says. Okay, so let me just, I guess, split the deck. So here are the major arcana. The first 22 cards in the deck that represent the biggest energy. Yeah. Okay, before we go there, I just wanted to say I created this deck actually with myself in mind first because I am still like an amateur tarot reader, tarot user, so I still cannot remember many of like what the intended meanings are using the traditional Rider-Waite, and as I am an illustrator, I just know that, when you look at the Rider-Waite, that's like every element in the card means something, and that helps you to interpret the card. And I wanted to create my own deck so that, because I drew it, I'm gonna be able to remember what I was thinking and the meaning that I put into different elements. So, yeah. So if I'm not able to tell you exactly the meaning of every single card, please pardon me, I'm still a noob at this. Yeah, so here we have the first card, which is card number 0, the Fool, and it has my dad here. He's using his phone and he doesn't see that there's like a construction manhole going on, and there's sun is basically judging him. So remember that this deck is made with a comical twist, so there are gonna be a lot of comical elements in here. So that is the Fool. And then we have the Magician, which is my mom, and she is creating, you know, she loves cooking, so this is her cooking in her kitchen, and you have all the 4 suits here. Because the Magician traditionally is where, you know, the Magician has all the things he needs to manifest whatever he wants, and here she is creating dish. We have the High Priestess. This is actually one of the cards that the character is not someone from the family, but I really love how this looks. This is the Empress, and this is my paternal grandmother, and you know, she's the queen. So she is sitting outside. This is where our Malaysia home was, the old house, and yeah, we are originally from Malaysia, so yeah. This brings back a lot of memories because she would used to sit outside the house on this bench, and we would be selling like little candies and cigarettes. Yeah, so you know, there's just really something to do. It's more like a pastime than a business. This is the Emperor. So this is my paternal grandfather, who I have never seen before actually. So in the back there is a cabinet with trophies because my dad and his siblings used to win a lot of trophies from sporting events, and he has this bump on his head, so that's what that little C on his head I guess is. Yeah. So this is the Hierophant, which is also the keychain right here. So this is my dad. This is the first appearance of me and my sister. So I am the one with the piggy hat, and my sister is the one with the monkey hat because that is our zodiac signs. So this is my dad, and you have the classic keys that are on the Hierophant, and he's holding a durian because we love durian, and he has a tiny durian necklace around his neck as well. This is the Lover's card. This card was very easy to draw because this is actually my parents' wedding photo in this exact pose on a beach. So there's that. And then we have the Chariot. This is one of the cards I was like, what am I going to draw? I love to watch a lot of Chinese period dramas. So this is my interpretation of it with my dad in the Chariot, looking really silly, really funny. And initially these beams were drawn straight, but like he is a chubby, chunky guy, so thunder. So it's he's gonna bend it, and yeah. So that's the Chariot, signifying movement. So this is the Strength card, which is also this keychain right here. So the Strength card comes with a little lion, and it talks about being courageous, being perseverant, and facing adversity. So we have this card, the Hermit card. This is one of my favorites from the major arcana. So I didn't want to depict really dark cards as, you know, really dark, because I wanted this to be more light-hearted and more humorous. So the Hermit is basically my mom meditating in a jar with like little stars. She's coming to like certain revelations and thoughts through self-reflecting and meditation. So yeah. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So as a Chinese family, we would eat dinner together a lot, and you would have this, is this a lazy Susan? Like the thing that turns. And so you can get all the food that you want. So yeah, when I thought of Wheel of Fortune, I just thought like the spinny thing. So yeah. A disclaimer as well is a lot of these cards, the meaning behind them, some of them don't really mean a lot. It's just intuitively what comes to mind. So this is one of those cards. Then we have Justice. This is another card that depicts someone who is not from the family, but like is a really handsome prince. So yeah. And then we have the Hanged Man. This is a fun one. So it has my mom holding a fishing rod with my dad upside down when he's thinking and taking a pause to really figure out, you know, life stuff. Yeah. And then we have Death. So this is the card that I struggle with, I think, yeah, the most when it came to the major arcanas, because the Death card in the Rider Waite just looks really scary to me. And it typically has like the devil. No, that's the devil card. No, but I was just thinking, like, I don't want to depict my family dead, so this is a playful interpretation after many rounds of thinking of just my mom shooting my dad, you know, trying to shoot for the apple on his head or in his hands, and kind of always missing, and basically he's having a brush against death from his wife, who is using the arrow of love. Yeah. And then we have the Temperance card. So this again is a card where there's no family featured, but it's just a very pretty little fairy. This is another one of my favorites in the Major Arcana deck, which is the Devil. This is kind of Studio Ghibli Spirited Away inspired. I have a tattoo. Yeah, so the devil here is gluttony. I think if I'm pronouncing that right, where they're just eating and eating a lot, because the devil talks about addiction, and this is the other card that was kind of difficult to conceptualize because it typically comes with a devil and like really scary imagery, but I wanted it to be something that was more lighthearted but still captured the essence of like addiction and, you know, feeling like you're stuck in a situation, but actually it's a situation you can get out of if you really wanted to. Just check. Okay, we're still recording. So this is the Tower. This is one of the first cards that were drawn. So I don't know how popular Jenga, or as we grew up playing, it was Uno Stacko. And this is my interpretation of that, because it's a tower that you build up and it falls down. So you can see SayPa here pulling out a block from the Jenga tower, and this is SayMa like trying to hold on to it. Trying to hold on to the Jesus. Okay, so that was fun. That is a tower moment right there. Okay, and then this is the Star card. This is kind of my sister, but not really, but yeah. So I really love the little like smoky things I added. These were like really random. I just did this intuitively to add on to this card, which is otherwise very plain. I am an artist after all, so I can't have my cards looking too plain. Okay, let me just take a sit. My legs are going numb. So this is the Moon card, and this might be the only card that does not have any human representation in there. It has a little wolf and the moon. We have the sun. So this is my little nephew, my niece, and she's opening up the window to the little sunflowers because she is a little smiley, optimistic little girl. So I thought it would be perfect to draw her and represent her in this card. I love her a lot. So this is a typical scene of our childhood with my mom holding a cane and yelling at me. Yeah, exactly. Yelling at me and my sister. So this is the baby version of us. It's Judgment Day. This is the other favorite card in the Major Arcana deck. I know I have a lot, but so this is my mom looking through a fish bowl with little goldfish in there and just, you know, looking at the world in a different perspective. And we have my dad right here who's like looking on. My dad thinks this is me drawing him as like dead and an angel. I didn't think about that. I was just thinking it's cute. This is actually what inspired the Cupid Says deck, which is this deck right here. And we have the extension right here, and this is the artwork that then went on to this. So a little backstory there. So with that, we are at the end of our major arcana cards. We can move on to our minor arcana. Okay. So I don't remember the exact sequence that, you know, the right sequence of the 4 suits, but I am going to talk about the chopsticks first, which are the wands. I'm pretty sure that is the very first suit. So let's pull those out. Flip this over so we don't get distracted. Okay. So we have the Ace of Chopsticks. So this is more just a playful, intuitive interpretation, where my dad is the chopstick rest. Like, you know, sometimes they give you something to place your chopsticks on, so the tip does not touch the table, and you don't eat like the nasty things on the table. And there's some sushi here because I love sushi. And my mom is trying to rescue him, and he just is sleeping and he doesn't care. 2 of Chopsticks is all about planning. So my mom is, thinking about her next recipe. I'm really sorry, there's a freaking thunderstorm going on, but I want to get this video done. Yeah. Then we have the 3 of Chopsticks. Yeah, there's like 3 chopsticks here, even I confused myself. So this is about looking into the long term. How I thought about this was like being at a bar by a beach and just like feeling the winter breeze while making plans and reflecting. So that's what that is. We have the 4 of Chopsticks, which is all about celebration. So we have mom and dad dancing on the dance floor. They don't actually dance, but that's a fun idea. And then one of the quirkier cards here, we have the 5 of Chopsticks. So again, we have that lazy Susan situation. And actually what I was interpreting here is the Chinese New Year lo hei. I don't know what it's called in English, but it's where you gather your family and you just like toss this dish and you just like wish for all the prosperity, health and wealth and all the good stuff. And it's kind of a passive aggressive tension going on here with 5 family members fighting to like, I want first dibs on the dish. And they are all in different colored quadrants with different colored shirts to represent different ideas that they have and different plans that they have and intentions. Yeah. Then we have the 6 of Chopsticks, which is victory, and yes, this is my dad, victorious. 7 of Chopsticks is about challenges. So I love sushi, as I said many times. I should have drawn only 7 plates here, but it was too late by the time I thought about it. I was like, I don't want to edit this whole stack of plates. But yeah, so he is taking on a sushi challenge of how many sushis can you eat when you go to the conveyor belt sushi. And he's real mad. He's like really determined, like this is not enough. Yeah. So 8 of Chopsticks, this is a fun one. It's about movement. And we have the whole family here with our little chopsticks flying through the air like Powerpuff Girls. Here we have 9 of Chopsticks. This is one of my more favorite ones, even though it is more heavy-hearted. So it is a man who is injured, but he is like walking on a dog by a beach and just contemplating life. It feels real. This card feels really heavy, and it was designed to be so. We have the 10 of Chopsticks, which is again my niece. She is holding on to like 10 big chopsticks at the end of the journey, but you know, there is a look on her face which is like, I can, now that I have all the toys that I want, it's very difficult for me to hold on to them. So it's all about sharing your burden with other people, remembering that you're not alone. And she's not alone in this playroom. She has a little brother to share her toys with. So then we have the page. I cannot remember if the page or the knight comes first, but I'm gonna go for the page. So it's about possibilities. This is SayMa. She's like really happy, twirling her little chopstick there. And then we have the Knight of Chopsticks, all about movement forward. So this right here is very symbolic because this is my dad's hometown. You can see it right here. Sungai. I don't know Malay, but yeah. And this is actually one of the street vendors who sells bean curd, and this is their little cart. Yeah, and this is young SayPa driving it. We're not part of this business, but I was just thinking about food and I really wanted some food, and that's what that is. And I just realized I missed the Ace of Teacups. It's right at the back, but this is the Ace of Teacups. Yeah, it has a little three sprout, I guess, teapot with just tea overflowing. This at the bottom. And then, so for every one of the minor arcanas, you can do this. And they do piece up together. So in this particular one, it is my maternal grandmother and maternal grandfather. So yeah, this is in their old house in Ipoh of Malaysia. And yes, so this is what I remember. Food, table, little knickknacks around the walls, little these clocks, red shoes. My grandfather used to just like feed the neighborhood cats who would just come in at meal times and get something to eat. The good old calendar, little knickknacks around, yeah. So, grandparents. And that is all for the chopsticks. Wait, I took this by mistake, I'm sorry. I'm confused. Okay, so I guess the next one is the teacups, which I have already talked about the very first one, which is the Ace of Teacups. Let me just pull them out. So next we have the Two of Teacups, which is about union and partnership. So this is a wedding scene. This is a traditional Chinese wedding, not accurately interpreted, but something like that. So you have a word here that means like congratulations, I guess. So this is C, and you can see this word is very cool. It is like merit. Yeah, it's very cool. And then we have mom and dad in the traditional outfit and just sharing two tiny cups of, I think traditionally that would be some sort of alcohol or tea, I don't know. So yeah. And then we have Three of Teacups. So here is my sister, and they're drinking tea and having a little good old conversation and collaboration. Yeah. And then here is Four of Teacups with my mom. She's peeking at the three cups here, but she's not realizing that there is a magical bunny with a magical teacup behind her, and she's on a little picnic. This is Five of Teacups, which is literally don't cry over spilled milk. He's crying over the 3 cups that are spilled on the floor and panicking. This is young SayPa, by the way. And there's 2 nice cups of milk that's on the table that he's not paying any attention to. So this card was more emotional for me because I was like going through some things, and yeah. So Six of Teacups basically is somebody from your past. It can be your childhood. Yeah, somebody from your past who is back to help you, to connect with you. Yeah. There is like a subtle Korean wording here. These were basically my thoughts when I was drawing this card. I do not feel the same way about this person anymore, but yeah. So it says Chariot, which is have you been well? Yeah. Then we have the Seven of Teacups, one of my favorites in the teacup suit, and it is about looking at opportunities in front of you. Some of them have wealth and riches and they're great opportunities, whereas some of them just have snakes and spiders and just bad juju. So it's a card to remind you to beware. We have the Eight of Teacups, which is about somebody just walking away. That looks really sad, but I don't exactly remember the meaning of this card, but it's just sad. Somebody's walking away. Yeah. This is one of the cuter ones. This is my dad. This is how he lays on the sofa, honestly, with his belly hanging. This is Knight of Teacups, and he has all his little like cute trophies here that he's very proud of, and he's just lying here like, yeah, look at all my pretty teacups. Then we have the Ten of Teacups, which is happy family. So this is my parents when they were younger. This is baby me and baby my sister. Yeah, a little happy family. Adorable. Page of Teacups talks about creativity, so I had to take this opportunity to draw myself, doing what I love, which is drawing and painting. I haven't painted in a long time, to be honest, but yeah, drawing and painting. So that's what we have here. And then we have the Knight of Teacups. So typically they come with a horse, and I was just thinking, how do I make this cuter? We always play with these, I don't know what these are called, but these rides where you put money and they move as a child. So we have a guy looking really creative, really snazzy. He's wearing a skirt because why not? He's drinking a little cup of tea and he's riding on this pretty pony. And then again we have this. So this is the King and the Queen of Teacups. They are two like really fun looking artists, and this painting on the edge kind of joins. Yeah, and they're in little cute dungarees and overalls, which is, I love that. So that's the teacups. Okay. So we are down to our last two suits. We have the walks next. And then we have the ingots finally. Drink some water. I think I've been going pretty fast, so that's good. So here we have the Ace of Walks, which is my mom as like a ninja with her little walk on the back and her other kitchen tools. Yeah. Ready to take action. Ready to take on the world. Two of Walks is about thinking that you're trapped in a situation and, you know, there's blindfolds and you think you can't get out of a situation, but you can actually just take the blindfold off and it's all an illusion. So here is my dad cooking blindfolded, and he's really scared because everything is on fire, and we have some spilled soy sauce here because why not, and he's just like terrified. Three of Walks. So Three of Swords has always been a card that just feels a lot because it is truly the card of heartbreak and is represented as such. So I wanted to reinterpret that with the Walks, and here we just have broken things on the floor and we're just looking really sad. And you can see here there's a little pot of plant on the windowsill and it is actually like dead. And then we have a jar of folded hearts. That's what we used to do a lot for when we were young, kind of like origami. Four of Walks is about rest. So we have my dad looking a little bit skinnier, hiding in a walk, and my mom finding him like, what are you doing here? So a little comical twist there. Five of Walks is about not really stealing but kind of sneakily getting what you want. So there's a little rift between them, represented by this crack on the wall, and my mom sticking out her tongue to my dad, who is trying to look really indifferent right now, but is failing. Six of Walks is about walking away from the past, so we have my mom in a gigantic walk boat and just rowing towards the future, towards new opportunities. There is a tiny corgi here because I love corgis. We don't have one, but they're really cute. Seven of Walks, sneakily stealing some pots and pans. Yeah. One of my favorites in the walk stack, this is me. And I'm bound, and I think I'm trapped, but I'm not trapped. I can kind of get out of it. I kind of wanted to draw this like toilet paper, but I didn't draw the tail lines, so it's just kind of like loosely tied paper or ribbon around, and I love the walks that are just hanging here. Nine of Walks, this is one of the first designs that were confirmed for the walks, and it's drawn as like, yes, someone hurt my mom, someone is hurt in a dark time, and kind of under a safe space to rest, which actually now looks like a booby trap too, but yeah. Ten of Walks is about taking on too much. It is actually the card of betrayal, but I didn't want to make it that dark, so we have my sister under 10 walks, and she's like really stressed and pressed. Then we have the Page of Walks, which is, you know, a vast contrast from this card. My dad is figuring out how to cook, trying something new, and doing the salt babe holes, of course. And then this is Knight of Walks. So this is my little nephew riding on my dad, and there's like little soldier toys here, and they are like fighting a war with their huge Lego towers and, you know, the little wok and spatula for defense, of course. And then again, my mom and dad are on a camping trip, and they're enjoying their little food that, of course, my mom is making. And we have butterflies. Don't exactly remember what the King and Queen of Swords are, but that's very cute. Okay, and then lastly we have the ingots, which are the pentacles, water. So this is the Ace of Ingots. It's really just plain simple, a gigantic ingot in a bush, growing your wealth, new wealth opportunities. And then we have the Two of Ingots, which is about choosing between your options and balancing. So this is a very traditional like weighing system in Chinese. I've seen it in traditional Chinese medicine, where they put some like weights on one end. Actually, it doesn't come with that. There's weights, and then they put the herbs, so you know how much, you know, you're getting. So there are coins on the table. There's a smaller ingot with a little weight here, so you can measure how heavy the large ingot is, and then there are additional weights of varying weight here. And then it comes with a little like tassel thing that you hold on to so that you can shift it to balance both sides, basically. Three of Ingots, again, my parents with my sister discussing the collaboration. We have Four of Ingots. This is typically stability. So it's my dad doing a yoga pose, trying to stabilize on his gigantic ingot while still keeping balance of all the ones in his hand. And then we have Five of Ingots, which is kind of like the crying over spilled milk one. So this is me and my piggy bank, which broke, but you know, I'm really upset about this, but I don't see the gigantic ingots that are behind me. This is about, yeah, this one is about not seeing opportunities in front of you. Yeah. And then we have Six of Ingots, which is about giving and sharing your wealth. So this is a traditional kind of mascot during Chinese New Year. One of the gods, I think, which is Tai Shen Ye, is the god of prosperity. My mom is dressed up as one, and we have a little fu thing that you stick on the wall during Chinese New Year to bring prosperity. My mom is giving me, yeah, that's me, a little red envelope, which is money that you give to your children and just your relatives, your friends, whoever, when you're married, to share blessings and well wishes for the new year. We have Seven of Ingots, which is growing your wealth and admiring your hard work. So this is my dad growing his prosperity tree. There is a tree or a plant in Chinese culture that is called Fa Cai Shu, I think, which is, yeah, literally like a plant where if you plant it really good, it's gonna bring you money and wealth and prosperity. Yeah. And then Eight of Ingots is about hard work and working at your project and whatever work that you're doing. So this is my mom producing ingots and carving them out. I don't know how the actual process of making ingots, what it looks like, but this is what I kind of interpreted it as. Nine of Ingots is about enjoying the fruits of your labor. So this is my sister on a park bench by a tree and a bush with many money and ingots, and she is just talking to a bird. Like, I don't want to be staring at my money and worrying about it anymore. I know what I have and I'm happy about it. 10 of Ingots is about happy family and happy endings. So this again is like Chinese New Year. So we have my nephew here, the new little puppy, my parents, and my maternal grandmother. And these are little ingots strung on like a little ornament kind of that you hang on the door. So every time you have ingots and you see them in Chinese household, it just means we want prosperity and wealth in the family. Yeah. Page of Ingots is about hard work paying off. It was Winter Olympic season and I was watching Yuzuru Hanyu skate, so that's why there's a random like skating cart. Knight of Ingots is about working really hard for your money. So there's a guy in a field working with his cow, and this is actually one of my favorite cards in this suit. And they are reaping the fruits of their labor together. And then we have the king and the queen. So Tai Shen Ye, god of prosperity. Typically it's a male, but you know, why not? So we have my mom and my dad. So they're holding banners that say like well wishes. So 恭喜发财 is wishing you prosperity and wealth again. And 招财进宝 is kind of the same thing. Yeah, so that is the entire Family Heirloom deck. I hope this was helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little plug at the end of one of the decks that's actually not Oracle or Tarot card related, but it's a deck. It is the very first deck I've ever made. Not the same name, but it's a deck that I've worked on for at least like 2 or 3 years. And it is the Say It Out deck. So this deck is actually meant and created as a communication deck for children and youth with special needs, and It's designed for those with ADHD, ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder, and also social communication disorder, SCD. So these cards, I'm mentioning this here because these cards actually do come with emotion cards and facial expression cards that you might find helpful as well when you use it with your as like an oracle deck. So as a deck itself, as how it's designed, it is actually for, yeah, like I said, young kids. So it comes with 2 acrylic cards where it's a free association card, so they can write down how they feel here, words that they associate with the emotions. And we have facial expressions like these ones here, and this is actually the instructions. So let me just pull one that I've actually already opened, that is my own. So this one right here. So free association cards. You get a big tin again. So here are the instructions, because I couldn't find someone to print this into like one of those fold out sheets that has enough pages. The instructions are in card form and they're in comics. So this is how you use it for any kids or youth that you know with special needs, and this teaches or aims to just improve on the communication and education of like what different emotional states look like in terms of body language and facial expression. So this is called Say It Out. And in this deck we have 3 colors. So the pink ones have facial expressions on them. So when I use this for oracle cards, it just like, you can ask question of like, how is that person feeling right now, and you can get cards out like that. So it has SayPa and SayMa again, and it comes with a mixture of happiness, sadness, anger, and other emotions. Yeah, the blue cards are body language cards. So these are meant for mix and matching to the faces for educational purposes, but you can also use this to ask what is the mood of your person right now. And then the last one, you might find more intuitive. These are word cards, so we have a bunch of these, and again you can use them for oracle reading. They do come with 2 words, and sometimes they don't mean the same thing, so if it turns upside down, you might want to read the bottom word, for instance, for how your person is feeling. So yeah, just a little plug at the end. But if you do know somebody, or you know you have a child who may find a deck like this helpful, it's also on the Etsy shop. Yeah, just wanted to put that out there.